Hello everybody and welcome to Certified Collectibles. This is episode 2 in our must-haves video series. This series highlights pop culture related collectibles that we believe have long-term investment potential. Now for today's video we're focusing solely on WATA certified video games, specifically for the Atari 2600 video game system. Now these games are all factory sealed. We recommend only the factory sealed video games for long-term investment. There's going to be a lot of complete in-box games once a lot more games are graded, so you want to stay with the factory sealed games. Now the criteria that we use to select these games, we went into in depth in another video that we did about 2 weeks ago entitled Make Money Investing in Pop Culture Collectibles. In short, the key drivers for long-term profitability are popularity, brand strength, and pop culture significance. If you want more detail, please go back and take a look at that video, but those are the key factors that we use in selecting the games for today's episode. So we have 5 games to take a look at, so let's go ahead and get started. The first game is one that everyone recognizes, PAC-MAN. This is the 1982 two-dimensional cover. Now, PAC-MAN is a household name. You ask a 10-year-old child today if they recognize this, and they will probably recognize the Pac-Man character. Now, Atari put a lot of promotion behind this game when it was first released in 1982. They actually hosted a National Pac-Man Day to promote its launch. They made 1 million cartridges to be available upon release. All their efforts paid off, and this was highly commercially successful. They sold 7 million copies, making this the highest sold Atari 2600 game in history. Now, even though it was commercially successful, it was still really lambasted by the critics. They said it had poor graphics, poor sound. It was one of the worst ports from an arcade game ever for a home console, and it is still considered one of the worst games for the Atari 2600. So, you ask, why should you invest in this game? This is condition specific, so as you can see, this is a 9.6. You really only want to pick up this game for your investment portfolio in 9.2, 9.4, 9.6 or higher. 9.2 is the lowest you want to go. I spoke with WATA Games about 2 weeks ago, and they said they've already graded hundreds of the Pac-Man games, but only a few of them graded above a 9.0. So you want to stay in the highest grade for this. Now, as far as popularity, brand strength, and pop culture significance, this has it all. Everyone knows the Pac-Man character and the Pac-Man brand, and no one can discount the effect that this game had on the video game industry. So this is a great game to add to your long-term portfolio, and high grade only. So let's take a look at our second game. The second game is another one that everyone's going to recognize, Mario Brothers. Now this is the 1983 Mario's Brother video game. This is the first video game appearance of Mario Brothers, and this is the first appearance ever of Luigi, Mario's brother. This game, we're going to allow you to add this to your portfolio in a little bit lower grade. This is an 8.0. This is the absolute lowest we think you should pick up for this game. There's only been the highest grade is a 9.2 that recently sold in auction. So if 9.2 is one of the highest grades, 9.0, 8.5, and 8 is probably as low as you want to go, but definitely closer to 9 and above if you can find it, add it to your collection. This game was heavily played, so there's not a lot of these sealed still out there on the market. So you definitely want to get a sealed copy of this. There are a lot of complete in box. The sealed copies, they're pretty beat up, so to find one in 8.0 is actually a challenge. To find one higher is even more difficult. This is the later printing. The first printing had a smaller graphic on the front. We recommend either the first or second printing for this to hold in your long-term investment portfolio. You can't go wrong with Mario. Once again, everyone knows the character, incredibly popular. They're still making Mario Brothers games today. And come on, Mario was one of the hugest characters that have any significance on popular culture in the last 20, 30 years. So this is a great game to add to your portfolio, no lower than an 8.0. Okay, the third game is another game that everyone will recognize. Spider-Man. Now this is the first appearance of a Marvel character in a video game, and the first appearance ever of Spider-Man in a video game. For this game, we recommend only the 9.8. There are going to be a lot of these graded. We spoke with WATA. There's been a lot of these sent to them, and a lot of these in decent grade, like 9.2, 9.4, 9.6. 9.8s are getting more difficult. That is the highest grade to date. So if you're adding this to your portfolio, the 9.8 is the one we recommend. Now, Spider-Man, once again, popular, incredibly strong brand. Marvel's still pushing this, making movies. There's apparel, collectibles. Everything is still being produced for Spider-Man, and one of the most recognizable characters in the Marvel Universe and in the superhero universe. So once again, great game to add to your long-term investment portfolio. Okay, now this one here, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. This one you might wonder why we added this to the long-term portfolio. It's considered one of the worst video games ever made, and it is. It's a pretty horrible game, but because of that, there's not a lot in high grade. A lot of these were destroyed. Actually, Atari destroyed a lot of these. They only sold about 1.5 million copies. They made many more for its release. I think they destroyed about 2.5 or 3.5 is the estimate. They buried them in a landfill out in New Mexico. Now, Atari spent a lot of money making this game, about $25 million on the rights alone. This was a huge commercial flop. Critics hated it. People that played this game hated it. Collectors didn't like it. So why would we add this to the portfolio? Well, like I said, this is condition specific. This is a 9.2. This is one of the highest grades on the market. This game does not come in nice condition. The boxes are always beat up, always smashed. This game is very tough to find, sealed, and high grade. So when you're adding this one to your portfolio, we're thinking 8.5 is as low as you want to go. Probably 9. We're thinking 9. Stick with a 9 or above on this one. 9.2, 9.4, 9.6 if you can find it. There haven't been any for sale above a 9.2. This is the only 9.2 that we've seen. So I think it's going to be difficult to find anything in high grade to begin with. So use your best judgment on this one. Stay around a 9 if you're adding this one to your long-term portfolio. Once again, a horrible commercial flop, critic flop, but in high grade, very difficult to find. And now we're down to our last game that we recommend for long-term investment in today's video. This is the He-Man Master of the Universe. This is the first appearance of He-Man in a video game, and the first of the series of He-Man video games to come. Now this is a 9.6. This is a super high grade for this game. When I spoke with WATA a week or two ago, they said that they've hardly graded any of these to begin with, and 9.6 is the highest grade. So this was one that has all the key factors. Super popular character, the brand strength of He-Man. You go to any comic convention, there's still apparel and accessories, collectibles, action figures, everything's still being made for this brand. Kevin Smith has actually just announced in 2019 that he's going to make a adult-themed cartoon for the He-Man. So this brand is still very strong, super significant to the 80s, rare to find in this high grade, and super rare to find in the Atari 2600 edition. Now, there are a lot of Intellivision versions around, not really in high grade, but there seem to be a lot of Intellivision cartridges floating around. The Atari 2600 is the one that's difficult to find. So once again, this one is a great game to add to your long-term investment portfolio. In high grade, focus on anything above a 9.0 for this one. But great game, super important, super familiar. Everyone knows this character, everyone knows this game. This one here is a keeper. So there you have it. Those are our recommendations for the WATA certified video games for long-term investment. If you agree with these recommendations, or if you don't, please leave us a comment in the comment section below. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. And as always, please remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks for joining us here at Certified Collectibles, and we'll see you next time.